Hello, I'm Wayne DeBay, AIFD, and this is my wife.
And I'm Peggy DeBay, and welcome to Creations at the Flower Nook.
Hi, Wayne DeBay from the Flower Nook. I'm here with Creations at the Nook today, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the wonderful artists that we have in store. We have, right behind me for instance, is Jason and Annie from Fluters Creek doing wonderful metal creations. Just one of the many artisans that we have available for you to check out. Come in and take a look and see what all they have to offer, in addition to all of the beautiful flowers and plants that we normally have in store. Let's chat with some of those artists now.
I've been beading probably for 3 years in terms of beading jewelry, but ages ago, I got a degree in designing for the theater, and mainly costume design, a little bit of set design, and then I went to work in Hollywood and worked on beaded costumes as well as regular costumes. And actually, the first time I got paid to do any real beading was when I was repairing the beads on Liberace's costumes back in the 70s. Yeah, that was fun. It's called bead embroidered jewelry or beaded embroidery jewelry. It's actually, there's quite a bit of it on the web. It's fairly popular, but it's the beading that is around the edges of the stones. It's considered embroidery. And it's done with threads that are a little stronger than regular embroidery thread, but it is done with seed beads. I use mostly the Japanese seed beads because they are a little better quality than some of the other seed beads. But they're made out of glass and very precise, and I just love precise work, so that's one of the things that attracted me to this. I thought that when I retired, I was going to paint and do botanical illustrations. And I started beading too, but I can only paint for about 2 hours a day and then I get bored. But I can bead from morning to night and it never gets boring. There's always a new design in a few days that I can try out. Composition is the same no matter what art you're doing, whether it's jewelry or photography or painting or quilting. I just love the composition and putting the colors together and the fine details of it too. I brought along my stuffed dog, and I started out making a few dog collars for my mother's standard poodles. And all her friends saw them and they loved them. So the two of us now make beaded collars. It's fun. There's no reason I suppose you couldn't wear it yourself, but I'm just having a great time, and I just want people to smile when they see them and take them home and smile when they wear them. I'm not doing this for a living anymore. I'm retired. This is what I'm doing because I have to. It's a passion.
This week we found out that we're only 6 weeks away from spring. I'm ready for a little warmer weather. We're going to talk about the tulip today. The tulip originated from Central Asia, and it was the very first most popular area was Turkey. The name comes from Persia, and the word stands for turban, kind of how it looks when it gets to be full grown with the top of the tulip shape. To our recollection, and it changes every year, there are over 3,000 different varieties of tulips. And they're actually in the same family as the lily or the onion family. They got the same kind of a bulb and the same kind of a green process. So tulips, for you master gardeners, we plant them in the fall. They start to grow their root system, and then they actually go dormant. And you don't see them again, depending on the area that you're at, till February or sometime in May. What you'll see first is the leaf that comes up. And the leaf will come up a good 4 to 5 inches before you see any flower whatsoever. In fact, you'll see leaf and you can get snow on it. They're snow hardy, and they'll still continue to grow before you finally get to the blossom stage. Tulips in every color, after you put them here, they'll go through a giant opening period, and then will close back up. So don't feel like this is already dying, because it just goes through there and it will close back up when you're to the end of it. The 11th wedding anniversary flower is the tulip, and in the meaning of flowers, some people think it stands for purity, and we've already talked about the rebirth. And in the early Victorians, having a tulip was as good as having gold, because they were very rare to get a hold of. So let's see what Wayne can do with the tulip.
Today at Creations of the Nook, we've had a little taste of spring in the weather, and so I thought what I'd like to show are some true spring flowers. One of my personal favorites are, of course, the beautiful tulips that we get at this time of year. And they've just started really coming in, and they're crisp and very, very luscious to my eye. So I'm going to make a very simple arrangement with tulips, and I thought maybe also I would take a couple of the beautiful lime green hydrangea, which are a good counter. I've chosen the orange tulips, and this makes a wonderful counter to that. So we're going to give the hydrangea a quick cut. I should have taken them out of the sleeve. I wasn't thinking ahead, so bear with me while I wrestle along with the sleeves. And if I were doing this to go outside to deliver or to go to the refrigerator, I would take, after I cut, I would dip them in alum. Not 100% sure of what the reaction is to hyacinth and alum. I just truly believe that it does work and keeps them growing and going so much longer. And this is just the alum like you find in the spice aisle at the grocery store, so no big trick to that. Also have a little bit of the beautiful sweet huckleberry that is coming in this time of year. And I know I've talked about this before, but I'm always fall in love with it again when it starts showing up. It's grown in the Pacific Northwest, and it is a wild grown crop. They go and harvest it in the wild. And tulips, as you may remember, they're geotropic, they call them. They will grow to the light. They will also stretch and grow. They say up to 1 inch a day that they will expand or grow. And so these will keep on growing. This bouquet will change daily. The hydrangea will open up further. The tulips will grow, and so you'll have a new creation almost daily. Tulips are very easy to work with. They're such a beautiful flower on their own, and they're so unique, and they will do what they will do, so don't worry about trying to control them. Just enjoy the nature of tulips and let them grow and do what it is that they will. Can you hear them squeak as I put them in? One of those fun things. So there is a very simple, very easy to make presentation of tulips and hydrangea. Also brought some of the hyacinth, and I might bring them up and talk a little bit about hyacinth. Hyacinth, of course, have wonderful fragrance. This is the first time I think I've ever seen a yellow hyacinth, although They are available. I don't know that I've ever gotten the yellow. We see the pinks and the lavenders and the whites and the blues, but a yellow is kind of a rarity. So I thought, well, I'm going to play with those a little bit. Hyacinth are mildly poisonous. There is an oxalic acid in the stem, and especially when they first come in and you put them in water, it will ooze out, and so you could develop a dermatitis to it if you're allergic to them. These have been processed, and they've hopefully leached that out, so it's not a problem. And again, they just need to be very simply presented, I believe. I'm going to do hyacinth. I'm going to tuck a little bit of the bright pink wax flower in to kind of offset that yellow color. And again, they will grow each day. They will get taller and lengthen out. And so by doing them in water like this, if they become too top heavy, you can simply pull them out of the vase and trim the ends, and that way they will fit the vase and keep looking nice. So another, just a very simple way to bring spring into your home, as we're all very hungry for it. The groundhog predicts it's going to be an early spring, but it is Kansas, and as we know, it's always a trick to get through winter into spring. I'm Wayne DeBay, the Flower Man, and this is Creations at the Nook.
We are located on the north side of Salina. We're between Ohio and 5th Street on Stimmel Road. I've been interested in agriculture my entire life. Grew up on the farm in southeast Kansas. It wasn't a business that ended up working for my family. And basically we moved to the city when I was a kid, and I've been trying to get back to the farm ever since. Basically, I came upon this sort of direct marketing, more of a regenerative style of agriculture, a smaller scale type of agriculture, and it looked like something that was going to work for me. And so that's what we're doing. We grow livestock on a small scale, we grow some produce, and we direct market it. We're capturing the retail dollar, and that's how our business works. We grow 8 different varieties of garlic and the pastured meats. I'll be honest, I can't tell much of a difference. Some people say there is a distinct taste difference in them. Some are said to be better used as a salad warmer. Some are supposed to be better in salsa. Some are supposed to be better eaten raw. Some are better cooked, roasted, whatever. I'll be honest, I can't tell much of a difference. What's really been the determining factor for us is how does the garlic store? We start harvesting in June, and we sell garlic all winter long. So we have shifted, and just over the years have learned what varieties store better, and so that's what we've concentrated on. We plan to continue to grow our market base. We would like to get into more of more direct customers, people that would be able to visit our website, place orders via text, and we would deliver in the Salina area. We have a few customers like that now. We also sell our products at Prairieland Market here in Salina, and we also sell at the Manhattan Farmers Market during the summer on Saturdays. I think the local food movement is just getting started in this area, and people have a real desire to understand where their food comes from and know the person that grows it, and we're just trying to provide that for people.
Hi, I'm Christy Jansen, and this is my husband Chris. We own CNC High Tunnel Farms in Scandia, Kansas. We're an unconventional farm who raises produce right in the city limits of Scandia.
We farm roughly 2.5 acres. We have 3 high tunnels, and then outside about 1.5 acres of ground in production there. A high tunnel is essentially the difference between a high tunnel and a greenhouse. A greenhouse is heated, a high tunnel is not. So people are real familiar with greenhouses, and we get that a lot, but that is the main difference. People always ask, are these hothouse tomatoes? And again, a hothouse tomato is one that would be where it's actually heated. And our stuff is grown in the ground and without heat. And that's the thing with the high tunnels, you can't have year-round production. The spinach, lettuce, kale will grow all winter long. It will freeze every night, so we can't pick it once it's frozen. Usually by 10 to 11 o'clock the next morning, it will be unthawed and you can pick again. It grows really slow in the wintertime, December, January, just because of the cold temperatures, and the day length is a huge factor. Come February, the production will pick up a lot. The beauty of high tunnels it allows you to grow year-round, and it also allows you to increase productivity because things grow really, really well in the high tunnel. We started from scratch about 10 years ago. We started with just first the 2 high tunnels, and then we added a 3rd.
We love growing in the dirt. We love trying different things. There's just something rewarding about planting, that waiting time, seeing that first sprout come up, and just watching what you plant grow, and being able to harvest and have a good quality product to share with other people. But we loved it digging in the dirt. A cool crop is lettuce, spinach, carrots, radishes. They're things that are used to growing in cold weather, so they're the things that you would typically plant first thing in the spring, and they can handle some pretty cold temperatures. Because we use high tunnels, we're able to do those same crops throughout the winter. There's always a little bit of loss, like when temperatures drop clear down to 4 degrees like we had, there's always a little bit of risk of losing something, so we stagger plantings, and that helps with that. And we also use row cover when it gets to be that cold, and that again offers another layer of protection.
What's really fun in the wintertime is when you have to scoop through a snowdrift and you open the buildings up and everything's just so lush and green. It's really kind of unique and fun, and the produce is just the spinach, and it just takes on a whole different flavor in the wintertime. It's so much sweeter.
Winter hours, we travel on Tuesday nights to the Salina Farmers Market in the Field House, and we are there from 4 to 7. We also go to the Belleville Farmers Market, which is the 1st and 3rd Saturdays of the month in the Belleville City Library. We do deliveries on Fridays, alternating. Every other Friday we're delivering to Washington and then Kensington. So we had East one Friday and West the next Friday.
There's another 2 lots right by our property. We would really like to purchase that. Not so much to increase productivity, but allow us to spread things out so it would be easier to plan what we grow.
I would love to grow fruit. If I can talk Rose into growing to fruit, that's what I'm doing. We currently have strawberries. Strawberries in the high tunnel are phenomenal because you don't have to fight bugs, you don't have to fight birds as much. You get nice big juicy berries. So I would like to try raspberries in the high tunnels. I'd love to have blueberries and blackberries and that kind of thing too. But I don't know, that's a future hope, maybe down the road.
And we may purchase another high tunnel and put up, which would give us a little bit more freedom. We're proud of what we do, we're excited about it.
Thank you for watching Creations at the Flower Nook. We hope that you'll join us again. Please stop in and check out these creations and more at the Flower Nook at 208 East Iron, downtown Salina.
See you soon.